So if you Brick City like I'm Brick City, yes, lit. It's gonna be lit.
It was overall a really great movie. Really, I think it could really go far.
Like the movie is gonna be the movie of the year.
You get to see all the beautiful art, you get to see the buildings, you get to see the people.
It was very well put together. Everything, I think it was dope.
It was dope. It was lit.
If you're not from Newark, then you wouldn't understand how this music thing works.
You know I keep my pulse to the street. It's a new crew called the Brick City Squad. Nobody's messing with them in the entire state.
We're not rappers. Nah. We make club music for the streets. Since my pops was young, club music always been popping in the Brick City. It all started in Baltimore. We just took it and adapted it into our own thing. You see, to make it big, you need a solid team. That's exactly what me and my brother did.
What you talking about, man? Why you think y'all got respect? I'm the reason why nobody mess with y'all.
Nobody asked you to play bodyguard, Sin.
This is my block. Pop locking now, cuz.
Moonbeam launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Moonbeam Radio. I'm your host, Jay Daniel. This is episode S315. Jesus Ain't Coming. Thank you for your time and attention. Your ear gates, eye gates, heart gate, you are appreciated. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. And if you're a longtime supporter, welcome back. Now, this week we'll discuss Black Inventors, Uncle Nearest, Stealing Tips, Civilian Mission, DV Wheeler, Broken Body Cam, and Inconvenience. This portion of our broadcast is brought to you in part by June Moon Media Group, custom DJ services, including personalized mixes and virtual hostings for all occasions. Price and deals going on now. For all inquiries, email us at junemoonmediagroup@gmail.com. This is normally the time where we go all in on Black History Month, and this is the time where America says it's okay to be black for 28 days, right? I didn't want to do all that. But I did want to shed some light on an area that I feel that doesn't get enough attention as it should. Black inventors. See, over the decades, there have been many inventions, right? Black inventors have gone unmentioned throughout American history. So let's discuss a few of them. Sarah Boone, 1887, the ironing board. We all have used that. Now, another invention, black, wait on it, the mailbox, 1891. Paul Downing, he invented that. There is one that we all love, usually use it in the summertime. The Peanuts love it. Who doesn't like ice cream, right? No, he didn't invent ice cream. The ice cream scoop, 1897. Alfred L. Krall, Kralle. The ice cream scoop. Did you know that? Source here is the3drinkers.com. Uncle Nearest is the subject. Have you heard of Uncle Nearest? Probably not. You've heard of Jack Daniels, though. But I'm here to give you the story behind the mist glory, right? So more than 160 years ago in Lynchburg, Tennessee, right, there was a farm owned by a preacher named Dan Call. Reverend Call had a side hustle of making small batch whiskey. The man who made the whiskey was a black slave named, who else? Nathan Green, known as Uncle Nearest. So Nearest brought with him a special technique of charcoal filtering that he had learned when cleaning water in West Africa. Now, in the 1850s, 1850s, a young white boy came to Reverend Carl looking for work. The Reverend hired him, but the boy was so fascinated by what was going on down in the distillery. The boy's name was Jasper. He was introduced to Uncle Nearest, and Uncle Nearest was told to teach him what he knew. Now, Jasper so believed in this whiskey that he started selling it as far and wide as he could. Now, December 6th, 1865, my historians out there, what happened? Don't worry, I'll tell you. The 13th Amendment was passed. So Uncle Nearest was free. He was a free man, sort of. But not long after, Jasper bought the distillery and named it after himself. Quite the opportunist he was. Though he didn't use his given name, he preferred what the locals called him, not Jasper Daniel, but Jack Daniel. He asked Nathan to be his very first master distiller, and he accepted. The men worked together until Nathan retired. Now, Jack Daniel took all the credit, though. It is Uncle Nearest who showed him how to do the work, put his Mac down on that distillery, and put his stamp on that whiskey. Now, today, Uncle Nearest has his own distillery, his family estate is running that, and is finally getting the shine he so deserved. Source here is CBSNews.com. Stealing tips. We have to talk about it. So as you may know, you may have heard the buzzing all around that Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is stepping down as CEO. Now, this decision comes after a year of like superhero growth because of the pandemic for Amazon. But why? Why? According to the Federal Trade Commission, Amazon needs to pay back nearly $62 million in driver's tips. Did you know that? Amazon's Flex program stole tips from its drivers between 2016 and 2019. Here's what they say. Federal Trade Commission says rather than passing along 100% of customers' tips to drivers as it had promised to do, Amazon used the money itself. Now, that's Daniel Kaufman. He's the acting director over there. He said that in a statement. Now, what's Amazon Flex? I'll tell you. First, it allowed ordinary people to sign up for shifts using their personal car to deliver Amazon packages. That may be why you've seen people drop off your Amazon package and they in a Corolla, respectfully. You know, it doesn't say Amazon on the truck is what I'm getting at. Now, Amazon advertised that drivers could make $18 to $25 an hour in the program and earn tips for certain deliveries. But in late 2016, the company secretly switched their pay system. The amount drivers earned would fluctuate based on an internal algorithm. How convenient is that, right? Translation. Amazon could advertise a payment of $18 to $24 for delivery, but if the customer tipped $6, Amazon would only pay the driver $12 for an $18 total payment. Amazon did not admit wrongdoing as part of the settlement. I need to say that to you. The company will be required to pay $61.7 million to the Federal Trade Commission, which the agency, Federal Trade Commission, will distribute to drivers. Now, in the agreement, It also formally bars Amazon from lying about tips in the future and requires it to give drivers consent before changing payment models. Now, previously, Amazon had this clean image. It's for the people, has what you need, right? But then something happened. Coronavirus. And they began to grow a monopoly on the market. They got greedy. Stealing from its drivers, though. The army that it needs to supply the people. That's despicable. So shame on you, Amazon. I don't know if it changes your perception or your usage of them, but it does for me. But you see, instead of facing, as they say, face the music, Jeff Bezos hauls off. I want to say something else, but there's a family show tonight. He steps down. Coward. Source here is NBCnews.com. So, SpaceX, right? Now, first off, let me say, if doing too much, right, or doing the most, DTM was a person, it would be Elon Musk. Can we agree on that? From self-driving cars to putting microchips in the brain. Now, SpaceX has announced plans for the first all-civilian mission to space. This is a major milestone for private space flight. SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft will feature a 4-person crew led by Jared Isaacman. Who is Jared Isaacman? Glad you asked. He's the founder and CEO of Shift for Payments, which is a Pennsylvania-based payment processing company. He's a billionaire. I'll throw that in there. The flight is expected to launch sometime in the fourth quarter of 2021. Now, private citizens have flown to space before, so this isn't really new. But these space tourists paid to ride into orbit alongside trained astronauts. Now, Isaacman's flight will be the first time a crew made up of entirely of private citizens will go into space. Now, the crew members are undergoing training by SpaceX, including mission simulations for emergency preparedness and how to handle mechanics during their flight. This wouldn't be complete without a word from Elon Musk. Here's what he had to say. It's like when America went to the moon in '69. It wasn't just a few people. Humanity went to the moon. We all went there with them. And I think it's something similar here. What's the sudden cause for this flight, you might be wondering? Well, the expedition is to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Now, it's a shame that you're using St. Jude as the front. Why is Elon Musk in on this? Teslas are known to catch on fire. And even this SpaceX rocket made it a few hundred feet off the ground and exploded. That was just the other day. Again, if you're doing too much or doing the most was a person, it would be Elon Musk. I'll pass on this one, right? You know, so we're so into leaving Earth and finding out what's going on in space to like live there. Why? Don't get me wrong, astronomy and the universe and black holes and the Milky Way and Orion's belt and all these celestial bodies, that's fascinating to me too. But not more than buying a telescope. That's enough for me. I think we are doing so much on this earth, destroying the earth We're the cancer for the planet. Man, humanity, the way we live, the way we do things, the way business is conducted. And we're a critical mass. You have climate issues, right? Global warming. Weather's weird. What are they spraying in the sky? All that affects it. And another thing, all this drilling that we do for fossil fuels and oil and stuff, well, it can't be good for the earth. You ever tried to drive a car without oil? Or what happens to you if you don't have any blood? Same thing. I think trying to leave the planet and go corrupt and destroy another one. That's just me. But we'll watch. But I don't think this one's going to be so quick. He can't get the spaceship off the ground long enough. Can't get out the orbit. He can't get out the zip code with SpaceX right now. We'll see. Now, the other big thing for this week, tomorrow is the big game, right? The Super Bowl. There's another issue with the NFL going on. Source here is ESPN.com and NBCnews.com. D.V. Willer. So let me give you this story here. A white 6'7", 300-plus pound Seattle Seahawks offensive tackle was arrested last week. Cause of arrest, domestic violence. Now, according to court documents, this is what happened. Wheeler was arrested and booked on January 23rd after his girlfriend accused him of twice choking her into unconsciousness while he was experiencing what both of them called a manic episode. Now, this is according to a police report. The woman said that when she regained consciousness for the second time, right, Wheeler verbally said, "Are you still alive?" Now, when asked by police whether she thought she was going to die, she responded, "I thought I already had." Now, Chad Wheeler has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges of first-degree domestic violence assault, domestic violence, unlawful imprisonment, and resisting arrest. Wheeler, Chad Wheeler, it's pictures online of what you did to this woman. Chad's 6'7" white guy, football player. His girlfriend's black woman. Maybe 5'6", 5'7", maybe 5'6", 5'7". He beat her up. He beat the hell out of her. And you're going to enter not guilty? Now, the police report states that when police forced entry into the apartment that they both shared where this crime happened, she was crying, face covered in blood, and her left arm was swollen and limped against her body. So he broke it. She also had noticeable fingerprints on both sides of her neck. So this dude choked her a few times till she passed out. He was doing a TikTok challenge on his girlfriend. Scans revealed a fractured humerus and dislocated elbow in the woman's arm. Also, her chest showed indications that she had aspired, right, fluid, and that she vomited large amounts of blood the next day. She also reported a sore throat, which is probably the least of her issues, right? Difficulty swallowing, eating, headache, and neck pain. He's going to blame this on a manic episode? Don't get me wrong. Mental health is a serious issue that we need to addressed, and it needs to be pushed to the forefront as hard as dietary needs and exercise and physical fitness, right? That being said, he wasn't doing none of that on the football field. He wasn't going to work beating up people and choking them. He go home and do that. Coward. So you get a different kind of energy when you confront a man with that. See, if he was beating people up in the whole neighborhood, right, everywhere he went, what you looking at? And then that ain't what he was doing. So you mean the episodes only happen when you get home? When you have all this estrogen around you, then you bulk up? Then reality blurs? Miss me with that. Now, pending the investigation and being that he's been arrested, the Seattle Seahawks, have severed ties with him. He's been released from the team. He is now unemployed. Now, biasly speaking, I'm glad that they let him go. Objectively speaking, because there's a case, he hasn't been convicted of anything. Objectively speaking, they shouldn't have let him go like that. But how you going to plead not guilty? Folks, you should understand this. You can go online and look at the photos of her. It ain't cool. And like I said, he ain't going around doing that to everybody. He just did that to her. But to choke her twice and then ask her when she wakes up, are you still alive? Now you're out. And everybody knows. Woman beater. When he goes to prison, hopefully he does. Hopefully he gets help with his mental issues, whatever it is, and that she don't drop the charges or take them back. Because if she does that, then what was all of this for? He's going to have a problem if he go to prison, though. Because it ain't going to stop. Violence against women. No, we don't condone that. I don't endorse that. An argument is one thing. Verbal is one thing. But you're doing WWF and NFL moves on her? MMA? So, yeah, he needs to sit down. Sit him down. Broken body cam. NewYorkTimes.com. So, a Georgia police chief resigns, and an officer was caught on camera using racial slurs. Now, there is footage of it. I think I'll play it for you now. Listen to this.
Sitting there, nobody showed up. Hell yeah. Well, let me tell you, I've seen 2 videos, and I heard, you know who Dan Bongino is? He's on Fox News all the time. He used to be Secret Service. Yeah. He said, you know, what they're saying now is, well, he didn't have to shoot him. It's just a taser. Then how come when you tase a nigger, it's like you done killed him 27 times? The guy's running, he's got the taser in his hand, and you see him, and he turns, and you see him fire the taser at the officer. Okay, what would he have done if it had hit the officer? Go over there and get his gun and kill him? Yeah. Yes. Or what if one of them projectiles would have struck him in the eye? Yeah. The act of him firing that taser at an officer is an aggravated assault because he has not been trained in the proper use. An officer, if I go to tase somebody, I know to shoot low. I know what to do. He doesn't know. That's right. That's exactly right. That's what I said. And that mayor up there, she's already fired the officer. And without a hearing. And she's pushing real hard. They say she's now the front runner to be Joe Biden's vice presidential candidate. You kidding? Because if I had to fucking her, I'd rather the mayor than Stacey Abrams. Yes, sir.
So, that might have been hard to make out, but that was the police chief and a patrolman speaking openly about women, black women, on camera. They thought the camera was broken. Nah, but it works. So Chief Gene Almond, this is of the Hamilton Police Department, and Officer John Brooks. Almond resigns and Brooks was fired. Now, they were talking about slavery and the mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Lance Bottoms. Now, this video was recorded in June, and Mr. Brooks, Officer Brooks, was wearing the body cam. Now, the television station WTVM is the first one to release the footage. Now, if you couldn't make out what they were saying, they were talking about using a taser and people having a problem with it. And he's saying that if you use a taser, you know, it's like you shot a effing nigger. That's what he says, right? And then he starts to talk about, I don't know which is which, who was saying what, don't matter to me. They both were in on that. Saying that he'd rather have sexual relations with Keisha Lance Bottoms than Stacey Abrams, who was the former Democratic candidate for governor in Georgia. So they playing, you know, would you rather? But this is disgusting. And these two guys, I'm glad that they were candid with their commentary, right? Speaking about black people and then going into black women, right? So slavery and black women, would you rather? They didn't know they were being taped. So thank you for running your mouth, gentlemen. And again, you have somebody else resigning, the chief here, because you've been outed. Now, Brooks was fired. Now, these two, yeah, you should be out. There's footage of it. But this is America. See, this is how they do it. This is how they get down. They don't see nothing wrong with what they did. It just, I got caught. That's what it is. But these two gentlemen, Brooks and Almond, come on, you're trained with a taser and how to use excessive force. Killing effing niggers. That's what time you on. How is America so racist, right? White men in particular, we're talking about right here, right? So racist, and then want to have sex with black women. That don't make sense to me. That ain't even logical. Oh, but I guess it is when you have, like, your great Thomas Jefferson, right? He had sexual relations with his slaves, the women, had babies by them, and then still owned them. The baby's still sleeping in slave quarters. They don't come in the house. Same mindset there. So I guess it's the same thing. But it ain't cool. And I'm glad that they were caught. Now we know. See, it's just a time where, out with it. No more sheets. Ku Klux Klan Proud Boys, out with it. That's what you down with? Trump Nation, that's what you down with? Out with it. No more anonymity, QAnon, whatever all that is, out with it. Just like they kicked that woman out, what was that, the Senate or Congress, whatever, yesterday with her. Why she's wearing these masks with these billboard messages on them? Stop the steal. You know who I'm talking about. Well, she's out. Stripped her of all her power, too. Let's turn our attention to this word that everybody loves to use. Let's first discuss the etymology of it. Now, that's a $192 word for origin. I'm going there tonight. Nigger is derived from the Latin word for the color black. Niger. Niger. So according to the Random House Historical Dictionary of American Slang, it did not originate as a slur, but took a derogatory turn over time. Nigger, Nigger, and other words related to it have been spelled in a variety of ways, including nigga, that's AH at the end, nigga, UH, nigger, UR, niggar, AR, right? Now, when John Rolfe recorded in his journal the first shipment of Africans to Virginia in 1619, he listed them as negars, Negars. A 1689 inventory of a state in Brooklyn, New York made mention of an enslaved Nigor, Niggor, nigger boy. Now, we don't know exactly when Niger turned into nigger. We do know, however, that by the end of the first third of the 19th century, nigger had already become a familiar and influential insult, a household name, if you will. Now, with that being said, I've been noticing there's this great debate on who can say it and who can't. You know this. Well, here's my take on it. I don't care. Fundamentally. I've noticed that now other races are using it as interchangeable language for anything. My man, my boy, my homie. Just think of any sentence that you want and substitute man for the word nigger. That's what I'm talking about. Now, it's a word. I was taught sticks and stones, right? Yeah, well, sometimes words do hurt. They just don't hurt as much of as a bat up against the ribs. But let me continue. So you see, the great Paul Mooney said it best. Everybody want to be a nigga, but don't nobody want to be a nigga. Now, what that goes with it's all good for J-Lo to say it in a record or to say it in music, right? My nigga, it's all good, right? Who are you when the police show up? See, a lot of Latinos, Hispanics, they say it. Oh, ain't nothing. What's up, my nigga? No. See, who are you when 12 show up? Who are you when 50 shows up? Who are you when the police are there? Do you claim you don't speak English now? See, that's where we get it. Everybody want to be a nigga, but like I was online on Instagram, and there was some advertisement, a razor company. You know, I'm bald, so I'm always on the hunt for the sharpest, cleanest cut that I can get. Well, there's advertising for this new razor, and there was a Hispanic guy from, I believe it was Texas, talking about can a nigga get a free razor? And I went back and forth with him. I go, really? You willing to be a nigga over a razor? This is where we are. Now, the sad part is he didn't mean anything terrible about it. Because society has said it's okay. Well, I'm saying it ain't when, like, who are you when the police show up? Do you blend in now? Oh, I'm not with them. That's them. No. When it's time to fight the power, who are you? When it's time to get up and stand up, right? That's why I don't go for all this tribalism and this soul brother handshake thing, talking about brown people, people of color. No. See, we all people of color when the money is getting, talked about. But then when it's divvied up, no, I'm Mexican. No, I'm Venezuelan. No, I'm Puerto Rican. No, I'm African. Don't nobody want to be American black then. I know it's uncomfortable. That's the point. We need to be uncomfortable. That's how change works. You don't get a new jacket if it fits. You don't get new shoes if they don't hurt no more. It needs to be uncomfortable. We need to talk about it. It needs to be some resolve to this. I mean, am I going too hard there? How do you feel about when you hear someone say the word nigga? How do you feel? If it makes you feel weird, it should. This is who I'm talking to. We need you. We need you to help. And while we talking, while we going in like this, shouldn't that white man be upset about who can use the word or not? He made it up. He made it famous. That's my issue with it. Because it is just a word. And there's tons of code words out there. So they'll just, we're not going to say nigga no more. We'll just call them something else, right? Minority. Tons of games being played. How's it going down? But who are you when the police show up? When adversity shows up? Strife shows up behind that word, using it. Behind the skin color that's associated with that word. Who are you then? You tell me, can you use it? What's the big problem? FNXFit.com. All natural sleep aids, pre and post workout shakes. Try the recovery powder available in raspberry lemonade, grape limeade, snow cone, and watermelon burst. Use promo code Moonbeam for 15% off your order. Again, go to fnxfit.com. I'm Jay Daniel. This has been Moonbeam Radio. I'll catch you next week. Take care.